Beetles and jelly spoons, welcome back to Badgerworks. Today, this is the diorama that I've been working on, and if you watched the video where I built it, I did mention that I was going to show you how I made the scratch-built lamppost. So that's what I'm going to do today. So I'm going to make a lamppost to go on it, and I've been trying to find something suitable, and I think I might use this. This is a felt tip pen that's come from my daughter's stash, which is not working anymore. So I think I'm going to cut this up and see how well it works. I'll have to obviously get rid of some of this, but we'll give it a go, see what happens. Because what I've got here is some 4mm styrene tube. So I want to cut the end of this so that this will go inside it. So I think if I nip the end of this off, that might do the job. Drop the ball. I think that will work quite well. I'll clean this up and see if I can stick it together. Yeah, I think that'll work quite well. What I want to try and do, if I can, is obviously this needs to be cut to length, but I want to do this in such a way that I can put a light in the end of it. Yeah, I think this is going to work out quite well. It fits in there quite nicely. I might put a little dab of filler on it just to smooth it up a bit, but on the whole it's pretty good. So that'll work. What I've got to do now is find something to use on this end for the light itself. I'll have to go and have a rummage around, see what I can find. I just started cutting away at the other end of the tube for the pen. And I think I think that might work. A little bit more shaping, but generally, yeah, I quite like that. Yeah, let's go with that. Yeah, I don't think that looks too bad for a lamppost. I just need to black off this end, and then find something to cover that up with. Nice. I've just glued a little bit of styrene sheet onto the end of this. Once that's dry, I'll cut it back, clean it up, and I think that'll work very well. So what I've got here is an SMD 5050, which is a surface mount LED, and I thought it might be interesting to put this light into our street light, and then that way, if I so desire in future, I can put power to it and make the street light illuminate. So I'll wire this up and it can go inside the street light, and then if I decide to use it I can, and if not, it doesn't matter. So I'll just wire this up and we'll go from there. Now I don't know whether you can see that, but on the corner here there's a little tiny cutout, and that cutout specifies the negative side. So when you solder your wires on, the black wire, or your negative wire, goes to this side. So to test this, I've got this, this is a charging circuit I made for a different project. but this is the kind of thing I would use with this. So what I'm going to do now is just touch the live and the earth to the battery poles on this, and hopefully it should work. You can see this wire kind of stays. This is breadboarding wire for an Arduino. It's a solid core, and it means that when you bend it, it basically stays put, so it's quite handy for this kind of job. So positive, negative, and there's our light. So we can run this through the pipe and then stick it all together, and that will give us our street light. And there's our street light. Just need to find something to cover the front of it with, stick it together, and we're good to go. In an act of complete irony, the one thing I found that actually fits this is the rear windscreen from another Airfix Volkswagen Beetle. Who knew? So I'm going to paint the inside of this, then I'll stick this on, and then once it's dry, I'll grind it to shape. I just got this through the post, so I'm going to give it a try and see how it works. So I've just sanded what will be the inside of the glass, just to make it look frosted and diffuse the light a bit better. Now I'm going to stick it on, and once it dries I'll trim it to shape. Just make sure you remember to take the masking tape off the LED, because otherwise you're going to hate yourself. So that's stuck on. We'll leave it, give it plenty of time to dry, completely set up, and then I'll cut the excess off, then mask it off and respray it. So what I've got here is a 3.7 volt lithium polymer battery connected to a charging circuit, USB charging circuit with a switch. You've seen me make these before. I'll post a link to the video where I made one of these specifically. But what I'm going to do now is use this 30mm wargaming base to mount the charging circuit, and then we can put it inside the model to power the lights. So what I need to do is drill, I need to make a hole in this for the charging circuit to go through, one for the switch and then one for the status lights. So there's the holes in the base, switch, the charging circuit, and also what I'm doing here is I'm going to try something different. I'm not going to use fibre optic for the charging status lights. I'm going to try using this. This is a piece of old clear sprue from a different model, and I'm going to try cutting a piece of this off and using that to transfer the status lights. I just want to see if it works or not. So I don't know whether you can see that, but I've taken this piece of sprue, I just heated it up and bent it slightly, and now I'm hoping that when I glue it in, the glue will also help to refract the light into this and give us the status lights at the front. So I'll glue it on, and once it's dry we'll see how it looks. So we'll leave this to set up. When it's completely dry, then we'll plug the cable in and see how well this works. So this is all dry now. I'm going to plug the cable in. Oh, actually works really well. I'm really pleased with that. And basically, because I don't know how well you can actually see that, but because the glue covers both LEDs, I'm hoping that when the blue light comes on, when it's charged, that'll also show up just as nicely through there. But yeah, I'm quite pleased with that. So now we can put this in the diorama, reconnect the wires, and that's pretty much us finished. And here we can see now it's fully charged, the charging light has turned blue, so that's working fine. So now we can put it all together. So here's the box that the diorama is going to sit on. It's just made from some scrap that I had kicking around the workshop. And in the back I've put a hole here, so there's a 30mm counter bore and then a 25mm through hole. So what we can do now is take our charging circuit and thread this through the hole like that. Make sure this is straight. And now that's in place, we can put the base on, connect the wires to the terminal block here, and that's it done. So now we take our diorama base, put it on top like that, and this is kind of like redecorating a house with a letterbox, this bit, but it is what it is. Now we can give it a quick test, so we just press the button on the back. Yep, that works fine. And here's the finished lamppost in situ on the diorama. This was a fun little project. It only took an hour or so to make, and I hope it showed you that it's actually fairly simple to make things like this and use them in your projects. So thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Cheers, bye.